Hey there, and welcome. Welcome to the world of Finnish, a language that's as beautiful as it is one of a kind. You're about to start an exciting journey, learning Finnish. Don't worry, we'll go slow and steady. We'll make sure you get every idea. Finnish grammar might seem a little different at first, but with practice and some good old Finnish grit, you'll be speaking like a natural in no time. This guide is your friendly pal, taking you through the basics of Finnish grammar in a fun and easy way. We'll use simple explanations, real-world examples, and even some handy phrases to help you get started. Remember, learning any language starts with one step. Ready to jump in? Okay, let's do this. Before we start changing verbs and nouns, let's take a deep breath and remember. Learning a new language is about having fun and going with the flow. Let's make this a great experience. Every language has its own building blocks, and Finnish is no different. Let's start with two important elements, nouns and verbs. Nouns are words we use for people, places, and things like dog, house, and book. Verbs, on the other hand, describe actions or states of being like run, read, and be. In a sentence, these words work together to convey meaning. For example, koira juoksee means the dog runs. See? You already understand the basics of Finnish sentence structure. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try saying the words out loud and creating your own simple sentences. Don't be afraid to experiment and have fun. Now, let's talk about cases. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Even though Finnish has many cases, they're actually pretty logical and systematic. Cases in Finnish are like little endings that we add to nouns to show their job in the sentence. They help us understand who's doing what and where. Think of it like giving directions. Case endings are like markers on a map that tell us where things are happening and how they relate to each other. If you want to say the dog is in the house, you add the ending SSA to the word talo to show location. This little ending changes the whole meaning of the sentence, so the sentence becomes koira on talossa, which means the dog is in the house. See how a simple ending can make a big difference? Finnish has several cases, but we'll start with a few of the most common ones. These include the nominative, genitive, and partitive. The un ending often shows possession, like in minun kirjani, which means my book. This ending tells us that the book belongs to me. The lle ending is used for the receiver of an action, like in anan kirjan sinulla, which means I give the book to you. This ending shows who the book is given to. It might seem a little confusing at first, but don't worry. With practice, you'll get the hang of it. Remember, grammar rules are like a puzzle that comes together over time. Remember, even native Finnish speakers had to learn these rules once, and now it comes naturally to them. You can do it too. Keep practicing, and soon you'll find that Finnish cases are your friends. Verbs are the action heroes of language, and Finnish verbs have some pretty cool superpowers. They're like the backbone of the language, holding everything together. They can change their form depending on the subject, the tense, and even the speaker's mood. This makes them super versatile and expressive, but don't let that scare you. Let's start with the present tense. The present tense is a good place to begin because it's the basic form we use when talking about the present moment. To say, I read, you use the verb lukea and change it to luen. This is a simple way to say that you are reading right now. Similarly, you read is luet, which means you are reading. This is another example of how verbs change based on the subject. He, she reads is luki, and so on. This means he or she is reading. Do you see how the verb changes? The ending of the verb changes depending on who is doing the action. This is an important part of learning Finnish. Finnish verbs also have different forms for past and future tenses, but we'll focus on those later. Let's practice the present tense for now. This will help you build a strong foundation. Remember, the key to mastering Finnish verbs is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you'll learn. Try conjugating different verbs and using them in simple sentences. This will help you understand how verbs work in different contexts. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and improve. Mistakes are part of the learning process, and they help us get better. Section 5. Small words, big impact, prepositions, and conjunctions. Prepositions and conjunctions may seem like small words, but they play a big role in connecting different parts of a sentence and adding meaning. Prepositions, like in, on, at, and with, are used to show the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. For example, Kirja on poidala means the book is on the table. Conjunctions, on the other hand, connect words, phrases, or sentences. Common conjunctions in Finnish are jaye and mutta, but, and tai, or. These small words might seem unimportant at first, but they're essential for building grammatically correct and natural-sounding Finnish sentences. As you progress in learning the language, pay attention to how these words are used in different contexts. Section 6. Asking questions in Finnish. Asking questions is a super important part of any language, and Finnish has its own special way of doing it. The good news is, making questions in Finnish is actually pretty easy. You can often turn a statement into a question just by adding a question word like what, who, where, or when at the beginning. For example, this is a book becomes what is this? You can also use the question word ko at the end of a sentence to make a yes/no question. Remember, asking questions is a great way to learn new words and practice how to say them. Don't be shy to ask questions and chat with Finnish speakers. They'll appreciate your effort and be happy to help you along the way. Section 7. Putting it all together. Constructing simple sentences. Now that you've learned the basics of Finnish grammar, it's time to put it all together and start building simple sentences. Remember, a basic sentence typically consists of a subject, who or what is doing the action, and a predicate, the action itself or a statement about the subject. For example, Mina luin kirjaa, I am reading a book, follows the subject-verb-object structure. You can also create sentences with adjectives, adverbs, and other elements to add details and complexity. Start by practicing with simple sentences and gradually move on to more complex structures. The most important thing is to be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress along the way. Section 8. Practice and speak. Learning a new language takes time and effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in your ability to understand and speak Finnish. Remember, language is about communication, so don't be afraid to make mistakes. Take every opportunity to use Finnish, whether it's talking with Finnish speakers, watching Finnish movies and TV shows, or even singing along to Finnish music. The most important thing is to enjoy the journey and celebrate your achievements along the way. Practice, speak, and most of all, have fun! Section 9. Your handy Finnish phrasebook. Here are a few key phrases to get you started. Hi, thank you, how are you? Good day, goodbye. I am, what is your name? My name is, where is... Remember, this is just a starting point. Keep exploring, keep learning, and soon you'll be speaking Finnish with confidence and fluency. Good luck! Subscribe to this channel for more such language learning tips.